Hello and welcome. Today we have another great UFC Octagon warrior, Eryk Anders. Would you please talk on your titles, achievements? Would you please introduce?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, UFC middleweight, light heavyweight, Eryk Anders.
When did you start your MMA voyage? MMA run?
Uh, when I started, probably in 2012. I finished playing college football in 2010, and just wanted something to do, stay active, stay fit, and fell in love with mixed martial arts right then and there.
How would you describe your fighting style? I mean, I see you're a mixture of styles, but how do you have a dominant fighting style or you stick to everything?
Um, I would say my style is forever evolving. If you look at even my first UFC fight to my last UFC fight, they look totally different. So I wouldn't say I have just like one particular style. I do love the box, though. I would say that striking is probably my strong suit. I'm a well-versed grappler as well. Also a world champion in jiu-jitsu. So I think I can get it. I'm pretty well-versed everywhere.
Oh, it's great. Do you have a trademark, that big left hand, or you'd say you're an MMA guy with every aspect of the fighting?
I would say I'm an MMA fighter with heavy hands. Like I said, I love the box, but I also love the grappling. Everything that goes into MMA. But the left hand is definitely the equalizer.
Yeah, awesome. About your moniker, how did you get it?
My what?
Moniker, nickname.
My nickname? Man, it's just kind of the way I talk. I would talk to the guys around the gym, like, "Hey, can you come help your boy out? Let your boy do this. Let your boy borrow that. Whatever." And I just kept saying, your boy," and then it just kind of stuck.
How was transition from NFL and such things? Is it hard to transit to MMA from the different sport, and is it so hard or?
I just naturally gravitated. I think that MMA, if it was available to me when I was younger, this would have been the avenue that I chose. I just seemed to love it more so than I ever did football. And I just kind of, I just feel like this is what I was meant to do.
About your first pro fight against Josh Raspberry, how did it go? I mean, did you afraid? How did it go? How was the fight going? How can you describe, please?
The fight was going pretty well. It only lasted like 43 seconds, I think. It was really me just marching him down. I stuck him one time with the left hand. He went flying across the cage. I threw two or three more follow-up shots, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, definitely. You were undefeated, I think, before you joined Bellator, right? You had no defeat,
That's
right?
right. That's correct.
After joining Bellator, you had a real blowout, 23-second win, I think, against Brian White, right?
Yeah, yeah. Once again, he was another victim of the left hand. With the fight started, uh, he threw it like a naked inside leg kick, and I just stepped in and cracked him one and dropped him. And man, to be honest, the ref probably would have stopped the fight earlier, except I don't know. So it was 23 seconds, but realistically, man, it should have been like 10 seconds. The ref let the guy take a few extra shots for a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, I wanted to ask you, you're a left-handed guy, so how is the left-handed guy in the world of MMA? Is it positive or is it hard? Left-handed guys are sometimes having a big problem with other guys, and how does it reflect your fighting style and such things?
I think the left-handed athletes are always a problem for everybody else. You look at left-handed pitchers, left-handed quarterbacks, even left-footed kickers in soccer. It's just there's a very small percentage of the world's population that is left-handed. So it's definitely an advantage to be left-handed.
Yeah, definitely. I've been southpaw for a whole my life, and I understand
hmm
what are you talking about. How did you win inaugural LFA middleweight title?
I fought now UFC fighter Brendan Allen for the vacant middleweight belt. We had a 5 round war, man. I beat him up pretty good the first 3 rounds, and he mustered up some momentum and did a little bit of work of his own in the fourth and fifth round. But I was able to walk out of there with a unanimous decision.
Oh, awesome. About UFC debut against Rafael Natal, was it a difficult battle? You know, new promotion, big promotion, and how did you feel?
Man, to be honest, this is my first time walking to the octagon. The walk through the tunnel wasn't a big deal. The crowd wasn't a big deal. I felt like I had been in like similar situations as far as the amount of people watching when I played football. But as soon as I stepped into the octagon and I felt the canvas under my feet, felt the heat of the lights, and heard Bruce Buffer announce me, man, I just knew that I was meant to be here. And this was going to be a moment for me to shine, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, exactly. About Lyoto Machida, it was your first loss. So, did your first loss reflect on some changes in your style? Because you mentioned earlier when we talked that you changed some things. Did it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started, I fought Lyoto Machida. I think it was my 11th fight, 11th pro fight, and man, I was just headhunting. I just kept throwing the left, throwing the left, throwing the left, letting him get away with too much with the leg kicks. And I was chasing him around the octagon instead of cutting him off and using angles and stuff to set up my left hand effectively. Also, there were times where I had him rocked. Like I would see his eyes rolling up into the back of his head, but he'd still be on his feet. And instead of stepping back and throwing more strikes, I clinched up with him and tried to wrestle when I really should have just stepped back and let combinations fly.
Yeah. About Tim Williams, you got performance of the night, and according to the rule change, I don't know, there were some rule changes and so on, but I watched the video many times. You soccer kicked him, but he was trying to scramble up. He was in the air. It was absolutely 100% legal kick and one of the best KOs I've ever seen. So how did you do it?
Even if his hand was on the ground, he still would have been up. It still would have been a legal kick. They had recently changed the rules to where even if one hand is on the ground, he's still up. So, I don't know if he knew the rule or what, but or if he just felt like desperate to get up because he felt like he was losing the fight. I think there was only like 23 seconds left in the entire fight. So maybe he felt desperate to get back to his feet and try to make something happen. But I didn't do anything that wasn't inside the rules.
Yeah, I said it was absolutely inside the rules, but I say it was an amazing, perfectly timed strike. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just
Yes,
amazing.
thank you, man.
And yeah, they are changing the rules all the time, and sometimes, well, even when I watch, sometimes I make a mistake on the rule and so on. Thiago
Mhm.
Santos, your first loss. After that, you transitioned to 205, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really wasn't a transition to 205. They just needed somebody to fill in, to invite Thiago on 6 days' notice, and man, I can cut the 205 in that amount of time. So, man, they called me on a Sunday, and I was on a plane Monday morning down to Brazil
Oh,
to fight that Saturday.
it must have been very tough, right?
Man, I had a good time, man. Usually when I go to Brazil to fight, I don't get to enjoy the food. I'm cutting weight. It just makes it a little bit harder to enjoy where I'm at. But I was fighting at 205, so I got to go out, eat, hang out. Not on like a strict diet. I had plenty of energy, felt good. So, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed the contest, and even though it didn't work out for me, I still had a great time.
Yeah, I guess so. About the last Doro cover round three, two losses in a row. So, did it rock your career a bit, or how did it affect you? I mean, you were good at both fights. I watched both fights. You were not bad, but did it affect you?
Not really, man. I just kind of relate my MMA career to life, man. There's ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you got to get up, brush your shoulders off, and keep it moving. And now I'm on a 2-fight win streak, looking to make it three sometime before April.
Yeah, I guess so. But It was a great moment, and I even talked on Twitter with one of big fans. I talked on Twitter, and I asked the question: will Eryk Anders bounce back now? He has 3 wins, and you know what the fan said? He said now or never. And against Vinicius Moreira, you definitely bounce back, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, this is the best my body's ever felt. I really feel like I'm in my athletic prime, really good mentally. So, I think I have a lot more time left in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. About that big left hand, I think that ref, I think Vance Worden, how you call him, he was the judge, but I think he should have stopped against Vinicius a lot earlier. I mean, when he was on the ground, he was already out. I think I watched it 5 or 6 times, and when you punched him when he was down, he was already out. When you punched him, have you noticed that?
Yeah, I don't think anybody enjoys a knockout, uh, a walk-off knockout like I do. But my job is to keep going until the ref says stop. So when he dropped, I still felt like he was conscious, and I need follow-up shots. So it's that's not on me. That's on the ref to say when. And I just kept going to I always say go until you hear the ref say stop. So that's what I did.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just said that I think it was his mistake because he didn't weigh off earlier. That is what I
Yeah,
think.
sure.
Yeah, you absolutely won. About your last fight, about with I think Gerald Mearshart, right?
That's right.
Man, got to say it was so close contest, but people were saying shit. I mean, but I enjoyed every single moment of the fight. It was a great fight for me, but I don't know why people criticize it so much. I just don't get them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You never know. The judges are always different, so you never know how the judges see it. Does this judge appreciate grappling? Does this judge appreciate, the striking more? And where do they count as a takedown and control and this, that, and the third? So, you've seen guys spend a whole fight with somebody on their back and, just defending, submissions and win a fight, just because that's the way the judges saw it. But, I think everybody who fights looks at it a little bit differently.
So in the end, which will be your division? I mean, what do you think of weight classes? Which one are you gonna pick?
I like middleweight. For my skill set and where I'm at, I think the middleweight is a better division for me. So I'm down to fight at light heavyweight, and just getting where I fit in. I truly enjoy fighting. I enjoy the preparation for a fight. So weight class, it really doesn't matter to me. So whatever comes across on that contract.
Awesome. And one more question. How do you balance between trainings and family? It must have been very, very hard. I mean, you're a pro fighter, really pro fighter. And is it hard or...
Yeah, I mean it can be. Where I live at, I have to go travel a little bit just to go work with some bigger bodies and get some different looks and stuff. So but my family, my wife, my kids, they train too. They do wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, all that other stuff. They train. They watch it on TV, so that they know a lot. That everything that goes into it. So right now I have to be selfish, and I have to leave. I have to go do these things. But I think that they understand that I'm not going out there to have a good time. Like I'm working. It's a business trip for me. So yeah, they understand. They appreciate the sport and the sacrifices that I have to make in order to go out there and win fights. So they get it.
Yeah, I always congratulate to fighters. It's being an athlete. It's living a very very hard life, and in the end, everything pays off. And I hope it will pay off for you. I guess. Do you have a fight scheduled or not yet?
I don't, but looking to get back in there sometime before April. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it would have been great. I hope you'll pair a fighter and hope you'll fight soon again so I can enjoy again. Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for this lovely interview.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me. You have a good one.
Alright, thank you so much, Eryk. Have a great day.
Bye.